Hi, it's me, Luka, coming into your inbox on the 1st of December. Glad to be landing here in your inbox. Hope that all is well and that you're keeping warm. I hear in Alberta in North America, it's a bit of a brutal, snowy kind of situation. I will tell you, we're not being unscathed here because I live all of 10-minute bike ride from the beach. The North Wind Sea, the winds from the North Sea are rather mean and cruel and forceful. Actually, and if that's what winter is, I'll take one for the team. It's pretty lovely where I am. I hope that this is finding you in good spirits and ready for a month ahead. Listen, I wanted to pop in, of course, to tell you what is happening in the good food world and to also give you a little something to think about. So at this time of year, if you're, I don't know if this resonates with you, maybe it does, where there's this kind of demand on your time and the to-do list seemingly gets longer. And depending on what your role is in the family that you're in, your list may feel like it's getting a lot longer. I think everybody has a little bit more demands on their time at this time of year for sure. And if if anything that my 50 almost 52 years on this earth has afforded me is the clarity to see things in a new light because of the length of time I've been here. And I know it's not all that long. Like, I'm 22 years old. It's fine. But there's this idea that for such a long time, the month of December is about Christmas parties, kids' activities wrapping up and special celebrations, concerts. Sometimes I remember giving Christmas concerts when I was playing piano as a kid. Um, there can be special celebrations with girlfriends and clubs that you belong to, or performances that come around the Christmas time. Concerts with the kids, the Nutcracker traditions that you might have every year, or a Christmas story, or those types of expectations where your to-do list is way longer than it usually is of getting up, getting fed, maybe cleaning yourself, maybe cleaning something in the house somewhere, and then going to bed. Like there's way more than just that. And I, there is a reason this may feel like, oh my God, how am I going to get through it all kind of energy to it. Because if you look to the outside world and how the natural world works, what is the natural impetus at this time of year? If you look to the plants, they're all putting all of their energy into the roots. They're all going underground. They're all bringing it down. Having a quiet time. I mean, the roots are riotous at this time of year. You may think that everything is asleep and having a nice little dream, but what if it's the opposite? What if the summertime is when the earth is dreaming? I think it's a Mary Oliver poem where she talks about flowers are the way the earth dreams in summer. What if the summertime is that season of dreaming? And what if the wintertime is when there is that riotous time at the roots? What about the animals? The animals are also going inwards. So there's a contraction going on. There is a lessening of things. There is a quieting of things. A blanket of snow on everything brings about this invitation to drop down the decibels in the volume of even I'm talking, right? So could part of these requests of more to do may not be resonating well because that's actually not what's actually being asked of us in the natural world. What is this takeover that's happened in dominating this sort of energy in our time? So if it doesn't sit well with you, I invite you to just sit for a moment in curiosity and look at it and say, okay, well, this isn't sitting well with me. How come? What about this doesn't feel right? And what is within my own capacity to do what feels better? Is the list of to-dos getting reduced to just the essentials? Maybe what is being asked of us. Great. This is going to make people not join your Good Food Network, Luca, which is what you're trying to get people to do when you do these newsletter things. Maybe. And if that's the case, that's okay. There is good stuff in the Good Food Network, which we'll go over in a minute of what I've got lined up for the month of December, should you be looking for some good information. But before you do that, I want you to sit in the moment of, okay, what do I actually want and need right now? What is being asked of me and what feels better for me? And then manifest it. If a quietness is what you are craving, then declutter and reduce the clutter of the activities in your life. If you can, do what you can where you can. I know for me, sometimes there's some family things that there's all of these requirements or expectations, maybe is a better word for it, of all of the to do, right? We have to make the gingerbread house. We have to make the cookies with the kids. We have to go caroling. We have to also go see our friends and go have parties and have so and so over for dinner and then have these guys over for games night and. Oh my God. You know what else is asking of me? Quiet time with a book in a corner. Oh, that feels way better. And yeah, maybe it's antisocial, but it's not meant to be antisocial. It's meant to be resonating with the times. The natural rhythms and the natural um, energetics of the world require us to do that in summer, not in the dead of winter. Yeah. So tend to that inner flame. Tend to what feels good and bringing in that candle within. Light that flame and keep it smaller. This is the season of going smaller. This is the season of what's the main energetic component of winter is actually water. So winter in this time of year, in traditional Chinese medicine terms, is that season, moving into the season of low, slow flow, right? Kidneys are the main organs of the winter season. The adrenals are living right on top of the kidneys. So I see it also as a season of caring for the adrenals. Well, how do we care for the adrenals if nothing but actually doing adrenal repair? What's adrenal repair? Reducing your not priorities, but reducing um, the commitments on your calendar, simplifying it and going, shh, quiet time, it's rest time. Yeah. So, how can you bring that element into your life at this time of year? And maybe your body has been asking very clearly for what aligns with the natural rhythms because the natural rhythms exist within you. The natural world exists within you. You are one and the same. And you've heard it all along. You've never been disconnected from the natural world. You actually hear it loud and clear. So go with the flow, baby. Go with the flow. Okay, that was something I was thinking about. I think about that often at this time of year. Um, because I come from the land of do more, be more, got to do it all. We don't know how long we have in this world. Yeah, nobody does. And also, you can still have time to read a book in the corner. It's fine. The world will not fall apart. So, we live in a very active time in the world where we're being pushed to exert this, to use the system and do more, be more. It's a capitalist mindset. And honestly, friends, that sort of feels a bit at discord with what the natural world is asking of us. You can't give, and go all the time without replenishing the resources. Now's the time to go a little bit more dormant and to replenish those resources. And your body knows it, and your body's always known it because that's how it's always been. And also, why don't you just do it? Stop fighting. Because now ends the war talk. Okay. All right. Now, thanks for listening to my little back deck chat, as I like to call it. I'm in a new house, so I've got new background. And because we're only here 4 months, this is all you're ever going to get. I'm not going to decorate it because we can't. We're not allowed to, which is cool. It's a lovely spot. We're still in The Hague, in the same neighborhood. I love living in the Netherlands. I love this concept of just uprooting yourself and going somewhere totally different. And I happen to be at the same latitude as where and on the same waters as my ancestors were. So I'm really taking this winter season to sit with that and to see what it feels like, just to get a deeper understanding of the people I came from. Now, they weren't from the Netherlands. My people were from Ireland and France, but France is like, it's just that way. It's not that far from where I am, not where my people are from. And yeah, so, and Ireland is like exactly the same latitude on the exact same waters, just facing west while I'm facing east. So it's a brilliant time to be alive. I hope it is for you too, where you are. Okay, I have things that I'm doing over the month of December. Things are going to go dormant later on into the month, but you won't even notice it because I'm not super active anyway. But because our kiddo is coming to visit at Christmas, and I can't wait. And my favorite time of the year are December 26th to January 2nd or 3rd. There's this expectation of doing nothing in that week. And boy, am I gonna live that this year. Except the nothing is going to be done with my two favorite people, my sweetie and my sweetums. So we've got some really quiet days planned and then one really fun raucous day, but the rest we're really just taking it easy. So in the meantime, some of the things that I've got on tap, I have the Good Food Network that is always available to you, and you can join at any time, as you know. So the Good Food Network is a place where former clients get to come to hang out, where people who have contemplating being a one-on-one client, but maybe it is out of your financial reach, then the Good Food Network is a really good place to be. The difference between working one-on-one with me and being in the network is that one-on-one will pinpoint, we'll get to what the issue is, and we'll put some very specific things in place for you. The Good Food Network gives you a lot of different ideas that you can piecemeal put together for what works for you. So much of how we, at this current time, find the information we're looking for that's outside of the paradigms that are the traditional paradigms we've always known, we're starting to look to find the information elsewhere. And we're trying to find the answers to those questions we don't even know how to ask. And so much of social media is geared towards answering those questions. And social media feels like it just exists on the crust of what the content is, like just on the outside, on the periphery of the other, the knowing of the other stuff. Because we know the mainstream stuff. We have, for the last 100 years or so, given all of our wellness over to a doctor, to a wellness person who knows what they're doing. And now we seem to be reclaiming a lot of that and taking a lot more responsibility for ourselves. So social media does a really good job of sort of doing the outskirts of that. What the Good Food Network does is it goes in one level deeper. And one level deeper than that is working one-on-one with me. But sometimes that's unattainable. Finances, time commitments, and just general, like, I have too much on my to-do list, Luka. Yeah, got it. Totally got it. The Good Food Network exists between the social media and the working one-on-one with me. And it's a really nice pocket of space that can give you a bunch of different things that are all research, science-backed. All of the pieces, your to-do pieces are lined in there with the explanation how to know if it's you. So you can piece them together and know, oh, this is me. Therefore, I need to do these pieces, and this is going to help me. And this is how I'm going to know that I'm moving in the right direction. That's what the Good Food Network gives you. And in the month of December, we're doing the second month of microbiome. In January, we're going to move into adrenals because it's the season. And I haven't done it in 2 years. So it's time to go back and revisit and revamp some of that adrenal stuff. So we're doing microbiome for the month of December. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what you could find when you join us in the Good Food Network. So the Good Food Network is a combination of, well, it's all curated content, but there's some on-demand content. There's a live event every week. And then there's some written stuff as well. So the curated content, which is kind of a combination of things here, we've got our main topic is the microbiome. So everything that's getting shared in the network is geared towards explaining the microbiome. So that's kind of our theme for the month of December. Then we've got a course in here, a 40-minute class called The Real Food Reset. There's a new module every 2 months. For December, it's called Build Your Food as Medicine Toolkit. So you can think of it as this toolkit. You're just going to put some food things in, and the consistency of putting these pieces in place long term is how we best support vitality and aging in terms of quality and quantity. It serves everything. Whether you have chronic disease or you want to keep chronic disease at bay, you're building this food as medicine toolkit to help you through it all. And we go through some of those basic pieces. This is a bit more of that to-do work when it comes to looking after yourself through the good foods. There's also a 2-hour class called Vitality Gut. So this Vitality class is one of the, I think I now have 10 that I designed for the Light Cellar. I used to teach these classes at the Light Cellar, and we used to take a full Sunday afternoon and dive deep and make recipes and do a bunch of things. But now the class is broken down into smaller chunks so that you could take your time to move through it. And the work is outlined at the end of the class based on what we cover to understand. And it's a class really meant to help you understand the interconnections of the gut and everywhere else it impacts in the body, what is negatively impacting, and what it takes to keep the gut well. We also have a cooking class. You can access this cooking class any time of the month. It's an hour and a half. It was originally designed as a junior high cooking class, which I did with junior high kids. And then at the start of the pandemic, my daughter and I decided to run it online for all of her junior high pals at the time because we were all having such a hard time. And this felt like a Friday afternoon kind of get together that we could do over the course of 10 weeks. So every month we do one in the network. And it lives there. You can watch it whenever you want. And we're doing Vietnamese takeout this month. And if this is not something you might want to do in that week between Christmas and New Year's with some of your favorite people, and make a smorgasbord of delicious eats that I call part of the Takeout Fake Out series, where we do the at-home versions of takeout, but then they're anti-inflammatory and they're delicious. They're just delicious. So this is a really brilliant class. We do the Vietnamese pho. We also do is it the banh mi bowls? No, banh mi is the sandwich. We do the bun, pardon me. Bun is the bowl, like the noodle bowl. So we do a lot of different things in this class. If you wanted to join the network, you would have access to that. We also, every month, do a live class, and the live class this month is on fermented foods. There's a big reason for it. It is brilliant for the microbiome. It is absolutely seasonal. Fermented foods is some of the ways that we would have gotten vegetables into our tummies in the winter season. It's how you would have extended the harvest. It's how you would have kept things from spoiling. It's how you would have made the most out of what it was that you had on hand. And that is a part of what the winter energetics are about, pal. Yeah. So in this class, we're going to be talking about fermented foods. We'll talk about what are fermented foods, why they're important, why this traditional food is one of those food as medicine toolkits you're going to put in your toolkit, how to make some if you want to, and how to bypass that and do the shortcuts. Because you don't have to do everything. We live in an amazing time. You can outsource some of this. And in fact, I would highly recommend you do. I buy my sauerkraut already made. I know how to make it. Do I make it? No. There's somebody here in Holland who makes it. So I'm gonna buy it because then it also inserts me into the local economy, which I'm happy for. Anyway, these are all things that I think about that we'll be talking about in that class, Fermented Foods. So that class, every month we do one live class in the Good Food Network. There's a series of live classes every week, but there's a standalone 90 minutes to 120 minutes class every month. And this month we're doing Fermented Foods because of its affinity with the microbiome, of course. Now, in addition, so that fermented foods class, it's going to be accessible to everybody who's in the Good Food Network. They'll have access to it as part of the package. But if you wanted to just take that fermented foods class, you can certainly do that. That's a $25 price tag. The network is $35. So you get a whole lot more in the network. So I'm going to leave you 2 links below. The first one is going to be for the Good Food Network. The second one is going to be for just the fermented foods class. So if you wanted to register for one or the other, you'll find all the information. It'll make it very easy for you to understand. Now, the link I'm going to drop as number 1 below here will take you to this page. So this is all about the Good Food Network. So there is an audio version here if you'd rather listen to me reading the whole page, if reading it feels really overwhelming. This gives you the rundown of what exactly you can expect in the Good Food Network. I do an orientation session every month, so you can watch the latest one there. And then I want you to just keep scrolling down till you see these 2 sections. How do I know if the Good Food Network might be a good fit for me? How do I know if the Good Food Network might not be a good fit for me at this time? So reading through these 2 sections will help you figure out if the Good Food Network is for you or not. And then Everything you need to know about the network is down here. Very easy, ready to join, click here button. And then what's included in your monthly membership, and then some important information. We have a 7-day free trial period. You could try it for a week and then sign out and not even be charged. I will absorb the $4 fee I pay to have you join the network. So, because I think you're going to stick around. So, check this out at that link. That is the first link that you will get when you look below this video, when you click on Show More. Now, the Good Food Network, as I said, has 3 sections to it. There's the curated content that lives there that you can access anytime you want, kind of on demand, if you will. So much like Netflix or, I don't know, Crave, those types of channels that you can just watch whatever you want, whenever you want. It's always there. That's one component. The other component is the live stuff. And I've talked about that class, Fermented Foods. There's also a bunch of written stuff like recipes. There's a module with a handout on how to align yourselves with the seasons, what that looks like, what it could mean. But going back to that live content, we also have a weekly session that's 30 minutes every Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And I do it that early because I wanted to offer something for those who are like, I'm too busy, I work during the day. The beauty of these sessions on Thursday morning is that your camera and your microphones are off, so you don't even need to turn anything on. And in these sessions, we cover a more specific, this is where we take the micro lens and we go a little bit closer and we look at a very specific topic tied to our main theme of the month. And because we're doing the microbiome this month, those Thursday morning sessions are going to be tied to that topic, of course. So first week, we are talking about 3 ways your microbiome helps digestion. The second week, we're going to be talking about the microbiome and the brain connection. If you heard about that gut-brain connection, it's entirely to do with your microbiome, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So if you have any type of brain or nervous system issue, whether that has to do with nerves directly, things like multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, ALS, or you may have some cognitive decline, cognition tied into Alzheimer's, dementia, brain fog even. Or if you have any type of mood struggle as well, because that is done in the nervous system. Your mood is regulated in the nervous system by a whole lot of other things, your microbiome being a key player in it. So that's one section that we'll be talking about, or one session rather. The third week, we're talking about when ferments don't sit well. And that's going to be yet another reiteration of some of the content of the live class that's happening this month, Fermented Foods. And then that last week, we will be doing, it will be pre-recorded because I am taking a week off at Christmas because I'm observing my own instructions. I will be releasing a session called Microbiome and Blood Sugar Balance Connection. That one will not be live, but it will be pre-recorded, so it's all good. And it's a brand new one. So these are a part of what you would get when you join the Good Food Network. And the Good Food Network, to be clear, is a smorgasbord of things. So when you join the Good Food Network, there's a bunch of stuff. You feel like there's a pile. You pick and choose what it is you want. I give you a checklist. You cross off what you were not going to look at, and you highlight the ones you want, and you prioritize. You put them in a list, 1 through 6 or 4 or 3 or whatever amount of time you've got that you want to go through in the month. You don't have to do it all. Here's my question. When you go, I use this all the time. When you go to the buffet, Chinese buffet takeout, right? There's 9 of you that go in your family. That's what happens at our house. We go to the Chinese buffet and everybody's plate looks different when you go up to the buffet, correct? Does anybody in your party of 9 go up and take everything that's under the buffet? No, nobody does. Right. Yeah, it's the same thing in the Good Food Network. You pick and you choose what it is you want. And the secret is that there's a lot of repetition. So chances are you're actually not even missing anything. But it's just written in a different way. It's presented in a different way, from a different angle, from a different point of view. So you pay attention, you get to know what your body's asking for. You get to learn more about how your body works and how to nourish it well. So listen, those are the 2 things on offer this month: the Good Food Network, Microbiome, and then that Fermented Foods class. The Fermented Foods class is happening on Wednesday, December 18th, 9 a.m. Alberta time, Mountain Time, so that anybody can join at any time. And of course, that Fermented Foods class will get a replay. So if you can't join us live because you're at work, it's all good. It will run again in the replay, so you will get until the end of the month to watch it. That's it. That's all from me this month. I hope that 2024 has been a delightful year of discovery for you. I'm sure there were bumps along the way, but I hope that there were a lot more smooth roads than bumpy roads for you. And know that I'll be here come January 1st, coming back in your inbox, hopefully, with some news. God willing, I be here. And that life continues to be a delight and a wonder for you. I wish for you some quiet time with your most favorite people and some delicious eats over the course of this month. I look forward to crossing paths down the road. Take care. Salut. À bientôt.